Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Piofiore, and we may be getting Nicola's best ending in this part. I don't know. The endings seem to take a while, so because we thought that with Dante is like, we're gonna get the best ending, we're gonna get it, and then it took like an hour and a half. I mean, we did get it, but it just took way longer, and you know, especially with the other endings, they take like fucking forever. So it could be another. It could just be this part. It could be another part. We'll at least get close to it. We're getting close to it. We have one more choice left in this chapter. You know, and this is the last chapter before we get our best ending. And then, you know, we do have that after kind of story in the main menu. And then we get our extra side story. So we'll see what we get to in this part if we finish and get his good ending, if we can do either one of those, or if we'll just do those a shorter part after. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So, but we're on the road to our best ending. So, the following day, the Visconti hurriedly rushed back and forth in preparation. Gil knew that the longer it took to set up, the weaker their advantage would be. So before even a single week passed, the day to take action arrived. Nicola, bodyguarding while Dante acted as bait. Even someone like me could see the dangers involved in the situation, but we didn't get laid. I'm just fucking saying. It's almost time. I suppressed the anxiety inside me and got up to see everyone off. Not even the night before. That's the least he could have done just in case we die or he dies. Just saying. It was a bit late as the top brass were all about to board their vehicles. Nicola noticed and came walking toward me. God damn it, at least kiss me goodbye. You came to see us off, Space? Yes. I don't know why, but it feels like it's been forever since we last talked. True. I've been busy with preparations. For the record, I wasn't trying to avoid you at all. It almost sounds like an excuse. I giggled at his attempt for an excuse, a rarity from Nicola. Nicola blinked, seeing me smile. I searched for the right words to say. Please come back safely. Nicola gave a gentle smile. I'll come back. I promise. He looked straight into my eyes. Perhaps it was because he was about to risk his life. His eyes were burning hot with passion. Gil, can we get 5 minutes? Okay. You be good until I get back. He spoke as if consoling a child. I gave a smile and reassurance. There are a lot of people here, so I'll be fine. Roberto's gonna show up, take us away, and Nicola's gonna have to bust in and save our ass. I'm just saying. Without saying a word, he extended his hand to me. His fingertips were about to touch my cheek. But before they could come into contact, Nicola quickly withdrew his fingers. No, don't! What happens if you leave and you die and I'll never remember your touch? Just, god damn it, kiss me already. Oh, we've been on the defensive all this time. There's no telling whether or not our plan will work. But you'll still go, right? My heart felt like it was choking as I replied to him. It's too risky. I'd rather not see him go. My honest feelings were circling around my mind. But I can't say that to him now. You need to go. For the family. I looked at Nicola while trying to fight off the tears swelling in my eyes. It's like... Because her instinct is like, I don't want him to go. I don't want him to do this. And you're like, right, because you're a human being and you don't want to, like, send your man off to die, right? You know, you're like, this is stupid. But then she's like, but you have to go for the family. Girl, like a proud mafia wife right there. Like, that's exactly what I'm like, so you, like... I kind of love her because she's not be like, no, you can't go. It's stupid. She's thinking that in her head, like, this is dumb. You're probably going to die and I don't want you to go. But then she's like, but we in the mafia, so you got to go. I don't want you to go, but you have to. Like, she's being practical. It's good. I like it. I don't know. I think they did her, like, well, like, you know? Anyway. His eyes stared straight into mine. That's right, but Nicola's fingertips touched my cheek. Oh, thank God. Kiss me. I'm still not sure. Nicola breathed in slowly, then brought me into his arms. Oh, do we get another kiss, CG? Oh, no, he's just... Oh! That's so cute. We actually have different outfits because she's wearing like a purple shirt now. Sometimes she's wearing blue. One of the other ones she was wearing red. That could still be the same purple. Kind of. It could just be the way they color it, but at least it looks different and I appreciate it. It's probably the exact same outfit. It just looks slightly different depending on... Like, look at the buttons up the back, though. It's so fucking cute. Like, damn. Anyway. What's the matter, Nicola? His tight embrace felt like he was holding on to me for help. It's so cute. Even the details in her sleeve, I can't handle it. Like, the CGs are good, and I like the details they put in the outfits, okay, is all I'm saying. I could tell he was feeling weak inside, despite his calm demeanor. Yeah, it's my responsibility as the one who brought harm to the Visconti name. I also owe Dante for trying to save me despite my betrayal. But I'm not sure what to do. I have a bad feeling about what's going to happen. A bad feeling? Someone may strike the manor while we're gone. If that happens, I won't be able to protect you at all. Nicola. I was surprised by his sudden embrace and his words. I could feel Nicola's feelings flowing through me from his body. I'm sorry. I know I'm only making you anxious by saying these things. Don't worry. I held Nicola rightly and decided to express my honest feelings. I think I meant to be... I held Nicola tightly, not rightly. It was tightly. It said rightly, but... I'm happy you're telling me all this. It's worse not knowing what's on your mind. Nicola's a lot on his shoulders. I can only assume how much he's going through. If only I could help lighten his burden, even for a moment. Nicola gently whispered in my ear. I'll be back as soon as possible. I'll finish this and clear my name. I'll correct all the wrongs that have happened. And there's still a lot to do, but I want to tell you myself once it's all over. I won't die, Spacey. I might. Not in this ending, the bad one. Nicola hesitantly let me go, and I could see his sad expression. I've never seen him like this before. I didn't expect a day like this to come. You done, Nicola? A jolly-sounding voice jumped suddenly into my ears, accompanied by a wide smile. Okay. I don't think that's a coat. You're literally wearing a fucking cape. I just kind of figured he had a jacket slung over his shoulders, but it's literally just dawned on me you're wearing a fucking cape. It's a fucking cape. I think I love you a little bit more just for the fact that you're wearing you were wearing a vest, which is hot. But you're not wearing, hey, I got my jacket slung over my shoulders where you're like, how does it stay on? I mean, there's no sleeves on that fucking thing. He's got a fucking cape. I love it. I fucking love it. That just makes it so much fucking better, and Anyway. Gil's staring at us with a wide grin on his face. I forgot everyone's still here. Everyone kept their distance and were looking at us from afar with gentle eyes. They're all like, "Aww." It's cute. This is so embarrassing. Okay, this a little bit. Where's the goodbye kiss? Come on, do it. Hey, Gil, stop joking. I protested at Gil's teasing smile when hiding the redness from my face. But Nicola nonchalantly spoke with his usual poker face. I'll give her a kiss when I return. I'd prefer a welcome home kiss anyway. What? And he's like, yeah, I'll give you a welcome home something. It ain't gonna be a kiss. What? I mean, that too, but I'm just saying. I see. Gil nodded as if what Nicola said made sense. I could feel my cheeks getting hotter by the second. Well, I'll be going, Space. Be careful. I somewhat awkwardly smiled at Nicola, and he smiled as well. The cars finally went on their way. I stood alone, watching the cars disappear from sight. Please be safe. All I could do now was pray. Ha! Bitch! I got that in before you got there. Dante was heading into the Lao Shu's headquarters with only a few soldiers. Wow. I was hiding and watching him from afar. Next to me was Gilbert. The Milano district was under Lao Shu rule. It's like they redecorated. Like they actually got doors and the shutters and everything that are like they replaced all the doors. They took over this district and were like, bitch, we're getting fucking Chinese doors. Like They were like, fuck your Italian architecture, and we're putting our shit in here. I like it. And so, we could only hide a few of our men. And that meant that if they happened to strike, not many of us would be around to help. Oh. All I could do was pray. Okay. We already read that. All I could do now was pray! It quickly went away. And then they go right back here! Why? Why was there the Insta side message for me to click to go end up back here again? That made no sense. They should have just, like, had this come right here. You know what I mean? Because it's an automatic aside, right? But you're coming right back here anyway, so they shouldn't have even done that one as a side story. All I could do is pray, boop, and then you're here doing that complete slide into this. Like, what was the point of that? I like the, like, whatever the fuck they're called. Why can't I think of them named? Whatever. But I like the little side story things, and I like how they do it, because it's kind of, like, fun. It's a little more interactive. You're like, oh, I gotta click, and it is weird, and you gotta use the timing, and it's always in the middle of a fucking thought, and it's bizarre, but, like, I feel like it's a little more interactive, like, oh, I gotta click and read this, as opposed to, like, oh, you're just clicking, and then you get to, then you see that, and then you click, and then you're back to the next scene. Like, you know what I mean? The way it normally progresses. You know, meanwhile stories, that's what they are. I like the way they did it, but that one was just freaking pointless. Like, because we're back here now anyway. Anyway, I disengaged the safety and racked the slide. Wow. My hands moved unconsciously after so many years of doing this. I've lived in this world since I was born, and yet can't seem to get her silhouette out of my head. Even on the doorstep of the battle to determine the fate of the Mafia in Berlin, I can't keep her out of my mind. Such a fool. I breathed slowly to calm myself from the rattling emotions I felt. Do your job, Nicola, or I'm gonna end up dead. I'm so gonna end up dead. Here we go. They should have met by now. I couldn't bring myself to eat, so I brought a cup of cafe latte with me into my room. I passed the time worrying about their safety. It already felt like ages had passed. After some heavy knocking, the door slammed open. There stood one of the soldiers who had been standing guard in the manor. What is it? Spacey! Nicola! He's been shot! Those loud shoes started shooting before anybody was able to get inside. Nicola took the hit in place of Dante Falzone. I think you're lying. I don't think that happened. We were just there. It can't be. We got him to the hospital in critical condition. He's asking for you to come. Let's go. I responded. I'll go. That's what. See, this choice is why I was like, Roberto's gonna bust in and be like, I will fucking. You're like, I'll go with you. Just don't kill me. Oh wait, hold on. I have to save before this choice. Let's see. For our save too. So, hold on. Are you dizzy? Are you nauseous? It hurts my brain a little bit. Whoops. That was our Nicholas save 1. This is our Nicholas save 2. Okay. Okay. I'll go. We're gonna get our best ending. Again, I could be an hour for now. I don't know. I looked straight at the man and answered him quickly. I'll go. Take me to him. I got it. We got the car ready. It's this way. I followed him out, leaving everything behind. My coffee grew cold on the table. I don't necessarily believe that this is what happened. Yeah. Cavolo? Is that a swear word? Anyway, I was running as fast as I could. Berlin's streets were cobbled with stone. Driving would take more time as the car couldn't fit through these narrow alleys. I need to hurry. What just happened flashed back into my mind. It was a trap. The fierce gunfight was expected. It all started the moment Dante left the Loud Shoes headquarters and got into his car. At that moment, masked men approached and began to fire. I covered myself as I moved in to take a shot at them. Dante rolled away from the gunfire and took the safest cover he could find. We chose the same cover. Figured as much, since we did go through the same training. Dante unloaded his gun, dropping his spent casings onto the ground. Why are you here? Huh? Isn't it obvious? I'm here to protect you. I responded naturally to his query. I thought we wouldn't be able to talk like we used to. It seemed I was wrong. I don't think you should be here. This is nothing to me. I can handle it by myself. I love his sassy little face. Dante emerged from the corner briefly and fired. Ugh! I could tell he hit his target by the agonizing scream from afar. I'm talking about her. I thought she was special to you. I'm not concerned with who she is to the Falzone or the Visconti for that matter. I couldn't reply. Dante continued speaking while keeping his sights on the enemies nearby. Wasn't there that officer who's been harassing you? Roberto, was it? I got a report that he purchased an abandoned building in Falce. What could a law officer want with such a property? I had a sinking feeling hearing his words. It's practically a declaration of sinister plans. Called Casa Bole in Pentola? Some type of the name of... That's the name of the building. And whatever the other word was, the area. But I forgot what it was already. Why are you telling me this? I replied to his plainly spoken musings. Dante didn't answer my question and instead continued to speak in his usual tone. The cover is perfect, but it's not enough to cover 2 people. It'd be helpful if one of us left. One other thing. Come see me when you're done. You owe me an explanation. Right. Understood. I promise I will. Dante pushed me to do what I wanted. I was finally ready to act. I carefully avoided the others as I withdrew, and jumped into a car parked in the alley. I drove away from the roaring gunfire. In the end, I chose space. That's so cute. Aww. I returned to the manor to find the bodies of soldiers who were assigned to stand guard. Space was nowhere in sight. I knew something was going to happen. I was planning on uncovering Roberto's deeds after everything was settled, but I was too optimistic in thinking that was how events would unfold. I told you he was going to kidnap us. He just sent another guy to come do it. I jumped in my car and raced to the Falce district. I don't have the time to let Gilbert know. I bit down on my lip to try and keep my cool. If only I'd been true to my heart. If only I told her I wanted to be with her. Now, it's too early for regret. I still have time. I will make it in time. Yeah, you will, because it's the good ending. Falce was home to many of the wealthy, so only a few abandoned buildings existed. Falce was like my backyard, being brought up as a Falzone. It'll be alright. I'll find her. He told you the building that it was in. You know what I mean? Or he told you the area. I drove through the side roads at full throttle. Please be safe. But he's not driving, he's running. He said he got out of the car. So he drove as far as he could and then... he drove out of the gunfire and then was running. After getting out of the car at Falce, the man was leading me through a narrow alley. Getting off the car. I mean, technically, in Japanese, that's how it sounds. But when you translate it to English, you would say getting out of the car, not off of the car. You get off a train, but you get out of a car. It's just how we word things. But the word's still the same in Japanese, whether you're getting off a train or off of a car. Or on a train or on a car. And it's weird, because you're like, wait, but... Okay, I mean, it's the same action. We just say different words for it, but... So they, literally translated that. You don't get off a car. It's weird. Anyway. Nicola came out here? Yeah, he's been marked by the police, so it looks like we couldn't put him in the hospital. You said hospital, though. We came in front of an old building. We're here. He opened an unlocked door and gestured for me to go inside. This son of a bitch. I took a deep breath, raised my head, then stepped carefully through the doorway. The room was completely empty. Where are you? I brought her as promised. He looked around and yelled aloud, but no one answered. But I sensed a presence behind me. I turned back towards the entrance. Crazed eyes. Behind the door was Roberto. Good. You're of no use to me now. I forced my scream back inside of me. The man was shot in the head from behind and crumpled to the ground. No, you should have screamed. Nicola might have heard you. Blood splattered across the floor. Someone might have heard you. It's an abandoned building, not room, but... We're in a room, but... This was the second time I had seen someone killed in front of my eyes. He's like, oh, we brought him here. I'm going to bring you to this room. But it's a whole building. The first was... the night Nicola saved me. And now Roberto's trying to save you. Look at his sweet face. It's crazy. I've been waiting for you, Spacey. Roberto holstered his gun and slowly closed in on me. Oh god. I took a step back. Where's Nicola? You don't have to worry about him anymore. I'll take care of him for you later. You're like, no, I want to take care... Oh, that's not what you meant. Oh. Roberto looked strangely upset as he turned his hat in his hands. Later. That means... He's not here, is he? What a relief. Roberto raised his brow, confused as he looked at me. After a moment, he nodded to himself. I see. You must be shaken. No, I'm very calm. Terrified. I tried my best to keep up a strong front in front of Roberto. I couldn't show that I was scared of him. You killed Marco, and now you're trying to frame Nicola for it. I also know you used Nicola's name to get me here. Roberto stared at me. I only used Francesca's name because of a suggestion I received from an ally. An ally? You mean Yang? He's just using you. Are you dumb? You're dumb, aren't you? A person who understands me. Roberto cleared his throat and changed the subject. I didn't think you'd come simply because you had heard Francesca was hurt, but I'm glad it wasn't a wasted effort. Maybe it's because you were raised at the church. You're filled with benevolence. You're kind to everyone. Sometimes too kind. The Mafia isn't deserving of your altruism. Roberto, you seem to be quite mistaken. What? Roberto frowned. It's not altruism or kindness. The reason I came all this way was because of Nicola. I love him. I love Nicola. Probably not the thing to say to a crazy person who's trying to kill you and save you from this man that you... I mean, I get why she's doing. She's like, no, I love him. There's a and then he's like, what? And you're like, oh, that was the bad thing to say. All right, I get it. You're not really sure. Do I just go, yeah, you're right, and play along, or do I with the truth? Like, there's no-win situation. Roberto's eyes widened in utter disbelief. He regained his composure quickly. I called you here because I want to save you. I moved back slowly with each step that Roberto took toward me. There's only so far to go. It seems you've lowered yourself to being mafia... Oh, to being... I saw mafia underneath me. Wow. It seems you've lowered yourself to being that scum's mistress, living with the mafia. Even so, I want to save you. I know you'll see the light. I don't like where this is going. If you had only abandoned Francesca and come over to me, I'd have forgiven you for all your sins. Roberto didn't seem to see me as he continued talking. And now I'm done with you. If you're this adamant, you can only be saved through death. Okay, see, maybe shooting me is better because I'm not really sure I liked where that was going. Oh god, he's going to get all molesty on us. I know Yang's going to do it, but we're going to like that. I don't want it this time. This is not the route for it. Roberto spoke boldly and ever so naturally raised his gun at me. Then all of a sudden, stop! A voice echoed through the building. A number of shots were made at the ceiling to distract Roberto. Damn it! Will you? I could see Roberto planning to pull the trigger the moment he saw his target. No! I dashed toward Roberto and tackled him from behind. What? The bullet fired from Roberto's gun flew far away from its target. I tripped and fell towards the ground. It's actually cute that Nicola doesn't... Well, I mean, he can't. I get why he didn't, but he doesn't, actually shoot him in the leg. Like, he was aiming a gun at an innocent girl. But before I hit... Nicola grabbed my arm to keep me from falling. Over here. Okay. I quickly steadied myself and followed after Nicola, who was pulling me by the hand. We finally escaped from the building. We ran through the alleys as fast as we could until we reached the bustling city street. Running here's gonna draw attention. Nicola kept a hold on my hand and strode through the droves of people. Let's escape into the crowd. I don't want to kill Roberto. Not just yet. He's the key to end the warring that's going on right now. You left to come and protect me? I couldn't stop my body from shaking. I didn't expect him to come for me. Unless Roberto goes mad and comes running out, with the gun waving, shooting, and then everyone's like, I saw the cop trying to shoot the mafia guy. I'm just saying. Nicola turned his head to me and smiled gently. He continued without answering my question. The Falzone and the Visconti need to have him properly punished. I can't have him die simply because the Mafia killed him. Punishing him properly will help us restore the family name, while also serving as vengeance. I also don't want you to see any more bloodshed. Nicola... And suddenly... Yikes! What the... Gunfire? Ah! Where are you, Francesca? A lunatic voice rose above the gunfire. I told you! This is perfect. Then we don't have to have the long, drawn-out, Roberto was closing in on us. If you don't come out, I'm gonna remove the rotten filth here one by one. These dirty mafia-loving civilians don't deserve to live. What is he saying? This is justice, Francesca! Nicola's eyes grew cold. He turned around, loosening his grip on my hand. I tried to stop him by squeezing his hand tightly. I'm going with you, Nicola. We looked at each other for a moment. That was all that was needed. He understood right away. I had no intention of changing my mind. Stay behind me. The people were scattering away from the gunfire. Nicola parted the oncoming crowd and headed straight toward the source. And he finally found it. Not hard. I'm here, Roberto. His voice was loud and clear over the people running and screaming. Nicola held my hand and stood in front of me to cover me. How nice for you to quietly obey. Release her now! She's not yours! Roberto demanded him to release me, to which Nicola replied, And just for the record, I have nothing against your justice. I assume killing the Mafia in Berlone and even killing Marco was all part of your justice. Marco was working with the Mafia! I know the police here are tied to the Mafia in more ways than one, but Marco leaned too far toward them. He deserved to die, no different from them. You mean it's fine to kill the Mafia, right? Naturally! Their deaths will purge the town clean and lead to peace! Nicholas stared at Roberto in silence with his cold and ruthless eyes. We thrive by use of force and violence. It helps us gain wealth, power, and glory. We protect the land and the people who live here. We're not afraid to die for that. Which is why the people respect us. Respect? Listen carefully, Roberto De Feo. What I'm about to say won't change even if the world sides with your justice. He spoke boldly to Roberto. Spacey will stay with me. I love her. Oh, you finally said it! Roberto's eyes widened and his lips quivered. Love? A criminal? Loves her? I'm a man of honor. I will protect the one I love with my life. Impossible! A criminal like you has no such thing as honor! Roberto's face contorted with agony, but Nicholas smiled. I'll never let go of her hand. He was right. He'd been holding my hand all this time. His feelings seemed to flow through my hand to warm my heart. Roberto stood there, shaking in rage. You've killed many, and you were just about to lay your hands on this precious person. You should be punished. But we won't be the ones to punish you. The justice you so admire, the Kingdom of Italy, should punish you accordingly. Damn you! Don't be ridiculous! You're a damn criminal, Francesca! You're the one who should be punished! You're the one who should suffer! She's been pleading for me deep down. And if that's not true... Whoa, my God, you are really... I love the fact that he's not just like, I hate the Mafia! It's like, I hate the Mafia because you're touching the woman I want! Like, damn, buddy. I'll kill you and her! Nicholas sighed, hearing his madness explode in front of us. He then let go of my hand. Oh my God. No, go back to his goddamn gloriously beautiful, pissed off face. Oh my God. His sexy, angry face. Oh, Jesus. CG is gorgeous. Before I knew it, his gun appeared. I guess I have to kill you then. He spoke without remorse. His eyes were dead cold. I'd never seen Nicola like this before. I'm going to... Roberto froze while pointing his gun at us. He was gasping for air as if he was being stared at by death himself. And in a flash of a moment, the scene playing out before me unfolded as if in slow motion. He disregarded my warning to you. I remembered the words he said before. And do remember this. I won't let you bring any harm to her. Don't force your justice onto others. Roberto fell to the ground with a thud. Nicola looked down at him. God, I can't. I'm distracted by, just the intensity and you're like, oh my God, he's kind of evil, but I love it. I've lived my life in the mafia, but I've never wanted to have someone dead before. But you're the first I've ever wanted to kill myself. In the name of honor. It's kind of funny. Nicola put his gun back in his coat, then smiled at me. It's over, Space. Nicola. I hugged him tightly. He held my shivering body with firm arms. Wow. Within a day, the people of Berlone found out what really happened. The Falzone family boss, Dante Falzone, was attacked in the Veleno district and a gunfight ensued. By sheer coincidence, the Visconti family was nearby and saved his life. During that time, Detective Roberto De Feo went on a shooting rampage in the Falce district. To prevent further violence, the Visconti's Nicola Francesca shot and killed him. Later, evidence was found proving the detective's connection to the Lao Shu. The discovery was made implicating Roberto in the mass murders against the mafia in Berlone. Man, I really thought it was going to be Direttore, but this makes sense. Roberto had given his eyewitness account of Marco's final words naming Nicola as his killer, but his words were to be rescinded later. Poor Marco! The person who misled you was connected to the Lao Shu. I'm sorry I had to put you in such a dangerous situation. Gil was struck with remorse, but he raised his head to look straight at me, apologizing in earnest. It's all right, Gil. You don't need to apologize. I shook my head and smiled. Nicola came to save me, so I'm okay. I know you've been through a lot of trouble for me, Gil. Gil worked with the newspaper to publish Roberto's deeds and clear Nicola's name. He never once reprimanded Nicola for moving on his own during the mission. Nicola really appreciates what you've done, too. I should add that I'm still a bit upset. Nicola... I sighed, then looked at Nicola. Well, only a little. Nicola shrugged, but I could tell he was angry inside. You were in serious danger back there. You were in serious danger back then. Yes, no, that's what he said. Okay, never mind, sorry. You could have easily been killed. Everything could have been over before I even got to you, which will happen in one of the bad endings, probably. You see why I'm angry, right, Gilbert? Of course, I'm also angry at myself. Gil nodded in response. Yeah, I was responsible for someone you love. I don't expect you to be lenient on me. Gil... Nicola's the type to hold grudges. Me too. Me too, Cupcake, me too. I can see that. And that's very rude of you, too. Gil cleared his throat to change the subject. In any case, Nicola's name's been cleared of all false allegations. But tomorrow an article dictated by Oliver should appear in the headlines. Article? I'm going to share how Nicola betrayed the Falzone family and joined the Visconti. And that it was all planned. Nicola's betrayal was done to bait the mass murderer into revealing himself. Falzone family and the Visconti family worked behind the scenes to rid Berlone of the threat. Not bad, right? Are you sure that can go in the paper? Isn't Dante going to be upset? I already have his approval. All our men are aware of it already. Wait, you kept this from us and only mentioned it now? Nicola looked bewildered, and the corners of Gil's lips turned upward. He's just like, haha, like fucking with people. That's right. It was something I was working on with Dante a while back, but now that things are settled, we went into action and got everything ready to go public. This is all too sudden. I can't believe you left me out of this. Nicola bitterly shrugged his shoulders. I did actually betray him, you know. Your objective was to come here and use us to get rid of the Falzone family. You negotiated a deal with me to ensure Dante's safety. The deal was for us to leave Dante alone, and in turn you'd work your ass off for us. I didn't know that. It wasn't hard for me to figure out when you proposed that deal, you know. So, Gil knew all along. He knew that Nicola betrayed Dante and the family to let Dante free. Problem is, Dante's actions weren't included in Nicola's plans. Ain't that right? You know how Dante is. He wouldn't have listened to me. Dante would sacrifice his own life without a thought to his freedom. Nicola Francesca. Gil suddenly spoke in a serious tone. Are you ready? If you're a man of honor, then it's time for you to pay your dues. Pay my dues? Nicola looked sternly at Gil. Gilbert, what do you want from me? Gil narrowed his eyes. I couldn't tell if he was angry or if he was just having fun. First, I need to have you leave my family. Huh? I expressed my surprise without thinking. Your contract with us is over. Hell, you tried to use us, you know? There's no place for you in the Visconti. That's quite harsh. Your goal was to put an end to the Falzone family, but now that the Lao Shu are gone, it'd be a lot better for us to work with the Falzones and share the wealth. Which means you won't be able to fulfill your mission here anymore. Got it? Oh yeah, make sure you take back everything you brought with you. Gil then looked at me. I wasn't sure why he was looking at me, but after a short moment it dawned on me. Are you sure? Gil responded quickly. Well, she weren't around, so the church has to talk to us to maintain their control. Even without you around, I'm sure we'll be able to negotiate at an advantage. Yeah, I forgot, Dad, but spent a hell of a load of money over what happened. I ain't got the funds to carry you folks. Gil, well, let's assume I said you can't go. You know what had happened? Huh? Then I would have to stay here forever. You fell in love with a man who stood up against the largest family around, the Falzone. He wouldn't give a second thought to pulling a gun on me. All for the sake of keeping you with him. After hearing Gil's words, I turned my head to look at Nicola. He caught my eye and smiled. His usual front was making it hard for me to tell what was going on in his mind. But I'm pretty sure what Gil said wouldn't have been too far from the truth. That's what I believed, at least. Now then, get the hell out of here. After Nicola and I left the lounge, he let out a sigh. Dante told me to come over to see him. I really don't want to go. It can't be helped. Gil stepped out right after us, and hearing Nicola's words, he burst out laughing. You've got to be kidding me. Just go and be honest with him. What you're trying to do is to change the lives of many, including Dante's, was going to, sorry. You got some nerve not explaining yourself after dragging everyone into your nonsense. Gil kept talking so that Nicola wouldn't have a chance to argue. If Dante really wants to be free from his duties, then Visconti can take Berlone off his hands. That's all there is to it. And what would you do to Dante? Gil shrugged at my question, exhaling deeply. A coward like that isn't worth my time. I just exile him from the town and call it a day. No matter what you do, the results won't change. Gil changed his tone. Nicola Francesca came to the Visconti family for Berlone. Now that things are settled, it's only right that you leave this place. Remember what I said, got it? And with that, Gil walked down the hallway and out of sight. Just be honest. That's easier said than done. I'm sure Gil was trying his best to cheer you on. I understand. Let's go. To the Falzones? Yes, I'll talk to Dante. Yes, I'm sure it'll go well. Will you come with me? Of course. Nicholas sighed and smiled, seeing me beam brightly at his invitation. Yeah, he told you to take everything you brought with you, which includes me, so I kind of have to. I got no place to go. Oh, I can go back to the church. You're homeless. Nicola! Space! Welcome back! Oh, Leo, I've missed you. Upon our arrival at the Falzone Manor, Leo greeted us with a bright smile on his face. Leo, it's so nice to see you again. Yeah, it sure is. Leo was so happy to see Nicola that it almost seemed like he was going to pounce on him. Like a puppy. I knew I was right for believing in you, Nicola. But that was mean of you to not tell me anything. I was so worried. Look, he's so sad. I can love Leo. You're right. I left everyone so suddenly. Sorry to have worried you. Well, it was part of the plan, so I know you wouldn't have left us without a reason. Still, I was so worried. In any case, I'm just glad to see both of you back again. No, I'm not back. I simply came by to pay my respects to Dante today. I did tell you that when I called you. Huh? You'll mean you'll move back on another day? Well, no, you stand around here. Come in, the boss is waiting. Nicola groaned, not being able to get through to him. I chuckled at their usual back and forth. It almost felt like nothing had changed. Hi, Bird. Just looking inside the manor brought back memories of our living together here. We could reminisce later. It was time for us to go and meet Dante. Leo took his leave near the salon, and we continued our way down the familiar corridor. Nicola's expression hardened the closer we got. Sensing his tension, I reached out and gently took his hand. He looked at me, astonished. He quickly squeezed my hand and smiled to show that he was all right. Soon, we arrived at the office where Falzone's boss resided. Finally here? You're late. Dante slowly stood from his chair and looked at us. Oh, the dramatic music. For several moments, Dante and Nicola looked at each other without a word. Nicola broke the silence and began to speak. I came to thank you. Thank me for what? Dante spoke in a low voice, his expression unchanging. Nicola responded. The information you provided me at the Lao Shoes saved her. Without it, I would have lost someone dear to me. Dante calmly looked into Nicola's eyes and asked a question. What do you think your old self would have done? Would that you have disregarded your family's mission and run to save a single woman? Nicola was hesitant to reply. Dante looked at me. What do you think, Space? I took a deep breath and answered. The old Nicola wouldn't have come for me. That was why I was completely surprised to see him there back then. He would have never left your side if he were still with the Falzone family. I believe you're right. I know more than anyone how loyal and obedient Nicola is to the family. Dante... Nicola tried to speak, but Dante shook his head and continued. Even if he did betray the family, his motives were not to bring me harm. I never once thought otherwise. Dante was speaking from the heart. He looked at Nicola sternly with unwavering eyes. Why did you leave the family? I want to know the truth, Nicola. Nicola was still hesitant to speak. But after a moment, Nicola finally opened his mouth to say what was on his mind. You're bound to your bloodline. I see. I understand now. That's all it took! That's because we've heard it, several times. You know what I mean? We had... Nicola told us, we had the conversation with Gil, so it's you don't need well, we might still get it, but we don't really need, a 20-minute explanation when we've already heard it, so it's kind of all Nicola has to be is and Dante's I get it. Just a single line from Nicola. It was all Dante needed to hear. Dante closed his eyes as if reminiscing. I can't deny that. I am burdened by the weight of my bloodline. I'm unfit to be boss. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't have taken the seat. I was confused at my very existence in being the Falzone's boss. All that's happened is my responsibility. He lowered his head and closed his eyes in suffering. But soon enough, he lifted his face to us, showing his usual self as boss of the family. The Falzone family is my home, and something I must protect. It's not because of a sense of obligation. My wish and my desire is to protect this family. My blood doesn't change that fact. Dante, I'm a man of honor, a man of indelible pride. As such, I'll live my life as a boss and to the very end of Falzone. Are you sure you're fine with that? At Nicola's question, Dante gave a small smile. I've chosen this path. I have no regrets. I see. Nicola sighed with relief, but chuckled to himself with scorn. Guess I was working myself up for nothing. Even if your actions were for me, you still betrayed the family. That's a cardinal sin to the Mafia and something that can't go unpunished. But Nicola Francesca is like my brother. I'm also human. I don't wish to punish my own brother. Only now, Dante? Nicola covered his face with his hand and tried to shake off his tears. Never once did you ever call me your brother. This isn't fair. Nicola's voice shook. Aw. Nicola, thank you. Thank goodness. I breathed a sigh of relief, seeing that their true feelings had finally been shared. Yeah, because like, Nicola's like, call me your brother, and he's like, I can't call you that. And so Nicola's like, now you're calling me your brother. Oh my god. These fucking nerds. Oh. I just want a CG of them hugging and crying. Silence took over the room for a moment, then Dante spoke. I can't finish my work without you around. I haven't had a decent night's sleep in ages. Dante pouted in a manner that almost seemed as if he were back in his youth. If you haven't given up on me yet, I'd appreciate it if you'd return. Dante, that's... But betrayal will no longer be tolerated. Your obedience and an oath, Nicola Francesca. Nicola placed his hand over his heart and replied with dignity. That is a promise. Dante Falzone, I swear on my life that I'll live as a Falzone, and as your right-hand man if you'll have me. It's like a wedding. We're like having a mafia wedding, but they're like getting mafia married. It's so cute. I accept. Tears swelled in my eyes. I know they're swelling in my heart. It's so touching. It's so fucking cute. I love it. Oh. It tugs at your heartstrings and you're like, I feel a little emotional right now. As I tried to fight back my tears, Dante turned his head to me. I'm sorry you were unwillingly dragged into this. Not at all. I'm fine, really. I didn't expect Dante to apologize to me as boss. I would have been dead that night if Nicola hadn't come to save me. On top of that, I'm beyond happy that Nicola is back to being a Falzone again. Unbelievable. Nicola sighed, hearing my words. Dante looked at both of us and smiled. My blessings to you both from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Even though Dante's like, I die a little inside because I loved you as a child and Nicola stole you from me. Like, what the fuck? Bro! With our conversation with Dante over, I walked out to the garden with Nicola. We sat on the bench and breathed in the fresh air. The cool breeze signaled the coming of winter. After a short moment, Nicola thanked me. Thank you, Space. Nicola? He looked around the beautiful garden and spoke softly. I never thought I'd see the day when we could enjoy the garden like this again. And this is the very place we spent so much time together in. Where I first showed you my true self. His words brought vivid memories back from when we were in the garden. They keep bringing the CG back and I love it. He said to me that he was only being kind to me because I was of some value to him. But I wonder if what he said back then actually had some truth to it. Nicola looked at me and whispered quietly in my ear. Hey, what I said to you before was odd, wasn't it? Yes. Everyone thinks I'm a murderer now, and being me will only bring you problems. Because of that, I can't share words of love to you. Not in my current state. This is not the time where he said that, but it's okay. I like the CG, so... Nicola forced a smile when looking straight into my eyes. They put the wrong CG up there. It should have been the other one, where he was like staring into her eyes, but it's okay. Now I can say what I wanted to tell you then. Will you listen, Spacey? He spoke my name, then slowly placed his hands on mine. Yes, please tell me. Dear God, I don't think I can handle it. Even now I find it difficult to tell you everything. Being honest with you, but I can't hold back my feelings much longer. His beautiful jade eyes were captivating. Deep in his eyes, I could see my reflection as well. I'm in love with you, and I want you to be by my side forever. Nicola held my hand more strongly now. I'm Mafia through and through. A day might come when you'll regret ever meeting me. You may despise the blood on my hands, but still, I can't let you go. So, I'm sorry. Can you let me keep you? Can I keep you? Yes! I love it! Nicola. My heart trembled from his words. I know mine does a little bit too. I could feel tears welling up in my eyes. Yes, nothing would make me happier. I want to be with you forever. I don't care if you're Mafia. Hearing my response, Nicola embraced me. If you don't mind. I looked up and saw him grinning with a playful look on his face. May I kiss you, Signorina? I chuckled at his request, and the tears flowed from my eyes. Why, of course, Signor Francesca. Did I get another CG? I closed my eyes, hearing him talk to me the way he did before. Tears of joy and happiness slowly rolled down my cheeks. No? No, just a fade out? That's what we're playing? We're playing that game? Okay. Alright, fine. I see you, game. I see you teasing me. Woo! Here we go. The birds were chirping, beckoning in the sunrise. The winter sunlight gently shone inside through the glass window. My mind sleepily tried to awaken from the morning light. I tried to stretch away the tiredness I felt, but I couldn't seem to move. I felt warmth right next to me. Ahem. Ahem. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. I was going to say, we got Dante shirtless, too. Yeah. So this makes sense. Good morning, Nicola. Well, I'm just guessing we had a little bit of fun last night. Thank you very much. Good morning, Space. Finally awake, are you? I mean, hello. Hi. Yes? His gentle smile was so endearing that I wanted to hide my face. Nicola's looking at me. Mm-hmm. That was all he was doing, but that alone was embarrassing for me. Just thinking about yesterday was too much. Even now our bodies were in contact. Not like that. I could feel Nicola's warmth on my skin. I should apologize while I still can. He played with my hair using his fingers. I looked into his face as he whispered, I'm sorry about yesterday. I thought I could keep my composure. I've taken such pride in being able to control myself, but I suppose I was wrong. Nicola, just a moment. I realized what he was referring to, so I tried to stop him from saying anything further. Look at the morning after scene. That's even more awkward. I didn't want to push too much. I really didn't, but... Wait, you don't have to tell me! Tell you? It just happened a few hours ago. Don't tell me you forgot already. That's gonna hurt my ego as a man. I didn't forget or anything. That's not it at all. Just thinking about it is... I feel like I'm gonna die. Nicola looked at me with caring eyes as I blushed a scarlet red. Okay, so it's like our bodies were one the night. And you're like, okay, the next morning scene is actually more awkward. Oh no. You guys are like, so like, what happened? She's like, oh god, now we're gonna talk about what happened. Like, sorry about that. Are you mad? I can't read this seriously. I wasn't sure if he was genuinely sorry or if he was simply teasing me. Looking at his bright smile, just hearing him speak to me like this, it's making my heart beat so fast that I can hear it thumping in my chest. I wanted to hide myself from him. Of course it was impossible, so I decided to simply reply to his question. No, I'm not mad. In fact, I'm happy now. Happy? How so? I can feel that you really love me from the bottom of your heart. He's like, oh, sweetie, men don't have to love you for that. Okay. He's a gentleman! They may be in the mafia, but they're men of honor and they're gentlemen. Which we can appreciate. Thank you. Nicola? I guess I need to make you feel it even more. Oh, I can feel it just fine, thank you. Huh? Oh, I need to get up. I have to go and help Julia with... Don't worry. Everyone's still asleep. You can stay in bed for a while longer. But any more of this and I think I really am gonna die. Dying from embarrassment, but more so from the happiness of being with him. Nicholas spoke to me in a sweet and gentle way, in an effort to delay my departure. Come now, I haven't ever felt this happy being near someone like this before. So, can you make me even more happy, dearest? Dearest? Coming from Nicola? Sounds like a tease. Please. That's so unfair, Nicola. How could I refuse that? How could you refuse that man? He's gorgeous. And in bed with... and naked. Oh my god. I was unable to hide my blushing from him in such close quarters. He smiled and gently embraced me. I'm just happy that we got our kind of sort of sexy scene. Welcome to Boulogne, facing the Adriatic Sea. A town ruled by the Mafia. I was born and raised in a world outside the Mafia, and I fell in love with the Falzone family's underboss, Nicola Francesca. the actual end. I can't read that. I wish they would have translated the... I'm thinking that's Latin, but... Well, the fin part I get. I mean, we know that. Is this like the, Oh, that was really just the... Alright, so... Short story is now unlocked. We don't have time to do that. But we do have time... We will do... These are the ones following the best ending. Yes. We'll do the short story after the, good ending. Which is what we'll do next. And starting in the next part. But what we'll do, we'll finish his best ending side story. Oh my god. Curious. Piofiore... 1926 is the there is actually a fan disc. I don't know what's involved in it, but I realized that like after being like, we need a fan disc. And I'm wondering, because I was always like this, and I was like, that always looks like it says, to me that looks like it would be prologue. But what is it? Somebody who knows Italian, tell me. But that makes it, because this is taking place in 1925, but if the fan disc takes place in 1926. Prologue to the fan disc. Bitches! What the hell? Anyway. Start, yes. So we might go a little over in this part, but it won't be like a half hour or anything weird, but... Right, we're Nicola. I am Justice. Oh my god. I wonder if this was, and that's why they took these and kind of spun off from the best... That's usually where the, fan disc spin off from the best endings. The 3rd of March. Anyway, or I wonder if that's why they did these little side stories and then they, like, were they planning to make a fan disc the whole time type of a thing? Or, like, this is where they stem from these? We really need to fucking localize, is all I'm saying. Everything had finally settled. I returned to my life at the church. Oh, that's me. I thought it was him. I don't know, anyway. Everything had finally settled. I returned to my life at the church. The biggest difference was that I frequented the Falzone Manor much more now, and you spend the night there. I'd become friends with Julia and the family, and even visited when Nicola wasn't around. But see, this doesn't sound like the best ending. It sounds like in Dante's we lived there. Only in our good ending did we go back to the church. I stepped outside after finishing my morning chores. Julia and I promised that we'd make dolce together at the manor today. I wonder if Nicola's around. My heart raced thinking about him. Although we hadn't gone back to church in that part, because that was like, we were just there, and he was like, I love you, and can I kiss you? And then we ended up in bed. He's so busy, so he may not be there. Still, I'd be happy to see him if I could. With a faint hope in my heart, I headed to Fulce. I knew it had happened. The louse shoe no more. Burlone's under the control of the Falzone and the Visconti. And things are much safer now and the town's busier than ever, but... we've got to take care of the scum that surfaces as the town becomes prosperous. He nodded in agreement. Given Burlone's relationship to the church, it's extraterritorial land over which even the Kingdom of Italy has no control. Yes, or so it was supposed to be. The government made their move, sorry. I believe Mussolini's rule will only grow stronger. Burlone's Europe's way to backdoor riches. It's obvious what'll happen when a mafia-hating politician gains power. And Sicily's proof of it. The death toll there isn't something to turn a blind eye to. I assume his next target is Burlone. I've heard that this town keeps coming up in the party conventions. What to do? It'd be a lot easier if the church would tell them to get their grubby hands off Burlone. We've been given our fair share of profits from here to the church. We also have the legend on our side. We've been honoring that duty to them for ages. But the church's support of the Falzone family had dwindled over the past few years. I suppose it was just a matter of time. I wouldn't be surprised if members of the church didn't believe the relic lies here. And things concerning her are normal. Grazie. Finally some good news. I know I'm burdening you, but I appreciate your help. It's fine. It's much easier to obtain information from the church than to infiltrate the government. That makes sense. And there were changes around the church in Arca. I had my men keeping watch over Space from afar to ensure her safety. I also had asked Orlok to help inform me of anything that happened around her. Unlike Dante, I'm not as well known among the public, so I doubt her being my lover will cause any drastic changes to her life. Even so, who knows what'll happen. She in particular was a key element of the Falzone family lore, and she's with the underboss of the family. That itself was enough to put her in danger. How cute. I don't want that to happen ever again. Speaking of which... Wait, no, I'll contact you again. Orlok nodded and left the alley. Orlok. Who is he really? We won't find out yet, but I couldn't find anything about him anywhere. The more I worked with him, the more I could tell he was no ordinary informant. I need to keep in contact with him frequently so that I know what he's doing. Still, I don't sense any evil from him. Not against me, or her. I can only hope we can keep our relationship on good terms. This really does kind of set, because there's like so much more like a little bit of plot going on, and like I know that like from what I understand, the fan disc, the 1926, like whatever it's called, I just know 1926 is in the name, but it's not like all fluff. There actually is like some plot involved. So, you know what I mean? Like Color X Malice Unlimited was total, except for Shiraishi's route was plot. But like the rest of it was like, oh, fluffy, and we're having fun, and there's like a little kind of plot to like, so you're not just like day one, like reading a boring ass diary entry. But I think my understanding, but it's still fluffy. You know, it's like, oh, it's all fluff. The fan disc for this is not fluff. A little bit of fluff, I'm sure, because I mean, this has got some like fan service in it. Hello, everybody gets shirtless and we get some sex, like that I don't have to read. I don't know how we're gonna handle Yang's route. I don't, but anyway. So this would make sense if it kind of stems off of these like little conversations, and that's how the story keeps going. I made a batch of sweets with Julia. I stood in front of Dante's office with one in hand. Come in. Buonasera, Dante. That's good evening, I think. Oh, you're here. I made a promise to see Julia today, or Sarah would be more... No. Well, we're in the... evening? Well, Noche's night, but... I set down the sesame-filled torta with a cup of cafe latte on Dante's desk. I don't know, I think it's evening. You know, anyway. We baked some torta de noche. I hope you like it, Dante, which is a homemade cake made with walnuts, which give it a slightly bitter taste. Actually, sounds interesting. I kind of want them. The Italian desserts sound good, okay, is all I'm saying. Grazie. And there's something I forgot to tell you. He looked at me with some hesitation, unsure of whether to say it or not. I mean, he's not going to tell us that we're the key to Jesus. Like, it's funny that you don't find out at all in Nicola's route. I guess that's why either one of them gonna go first. And the strawberry crostata you made, it was very good. Really? Wait, thank you, Dante. I'm glad you liked it. I gave a bright smile. I'm sorry, Space. Huh? I blinked at his unexpected apology. About Nicola. You haven't seen him much, have you? I've been asking Nicola to handle a considerable amount of work recently. Dante cast his eyes down apologetically. I carefully chose my words in response. It can't be helped. Nicola himself said that things are critical now. He also mentioned that given his recent return, he needs to regain your trust. I see. Dante chuckled a bit, though his expression began to cloud. Still, I have no intention of getting in the way of you two. If only you were still living here like before, I'm sure you'd have more time with him then. Nicola's been refraining from contact with me as well. Well, that doesn't surprise me much. For someone who betrayed the family to return and ask to live here with his lover, even if Dante approved of it, I'm sure Nicola wouldn't agree. But I've been allowed to move freely between here and the church, and you have let me stay here when it's late, so it's more than I could ask for. I see. After a brief pause, he began to speak again. I recognized Nicola's talent a long time ago. He's precise, dexterous, and skillful. However, I doubt that's all there is to him, especially when it comes to you. Oh no, he's pretty skillful and dexterous. Oh, that's not what you meant. You think? Yes, I know very well that you're someone special to Nicola. Dante looked at me with gentle eyes. With the Mafia, there's always a possibility for unexpected problems to arise. Even so, I can only see Nicola bringing you happiness. I know, it's because he's gorgeous and I love him. Dante... But if he doesn't, let me know. Why, are you going to take him up and fix that for him? Because, I mean, okay. I'll scold him for you. I certainly will. Thank you, Dante. Aw. As I left Dante's office, I saw in front of me the person I wanted to see most. Nicola! He smiled, seeing me run toward him. I didn't know you were here, Space. CG. No, damn it. He naturally gave me a light kiss on the forehead. Oh, yes, I'm here. He always showed his affection like this. After all the kisses he's given me, I should be used to it. But he couldn't help but blush. But a nice little forehead kiss, like, oh, hey, like a little sweet. You're like, nah, it would make me giggle, I'm not gonna lie. Perfect timing. I was going to see you later. Was going to come see you later, sorry. Oh, what about? I just wanted to check with you to see if you had any plans for next weekend. Nothing in particular. And then how about I take you out on a date? Let's go somewhere together. I was able to schedule a day off since most of my work's under control now. Well, how about it, Space? Yes, of course. I'd be delighted. But are you sure? I mean, you've been working so hard. It was also that I could find some time to be with you. Thank you, Nicola. His bright smile made me blush even more. Is there somewhere you wanted to go? We can have dinner at a hotel or even take a drive someplace. Your choice. My choice. I just want to be with you. Well, how about... I just roll around in the sheets a little. All day. Emilio! The Key Maiden. The stars are shifting a bit, but it isn't much of a concern. Whatever path she takes is the right path. Which is why it's a bit of a problem. I'd love to have kept my distance as usual, but we do have our internal problems as well. I wouldn't be surprised if someone tried to circumvent the fate destined for this town. What to do? I feel like Emilio is such a sweet... He's got such a sweet little cherubic face, and he's just like fucking the devil on the inside, Jesus. As punctual as ever, Orlok. You're the messenger from the church? Indeed. I came to you with an important message, disciple. I'm uncertain how long this situation will last, so I wanted to get in touch with you before they made their move. These do set up so much stuff. You're like, what's happening? Today's the day I'm going to meet Nicola. I woke up earlier than usual. I'm glad the weather looks good. Actually, I don't remember what these... Actually, between this and the other one, it was a good 30-minute part, wasn't it? I'm sure it's going to be a wonderful day. Oh, well. I kept looking at myself in the mirror to make sure I didn't have a hair out of place. I straightened out every last detail to look as nice as possible. I still have some time before we meet. Was the clock always this slow? I finally decided to leave my room. Wouldn't be much longer now. The thought alone brought joy to my heart. Even waiting for him was enough to make me happy. I hope I'm not too late. I smiled widely, seeing him. No, I just came out early since I didn't want to wait inside. You're not cold, are you? Not at all. It's pretty warm today. Thank you, Nicola. For what? Well, a lot of people aren't very good at keeping track of the time. I appreciate that you always come by early to pick me up. It always makes me happy. Well, of course. I want to have as much time as possible with you. He's just like, I can't wait to see you either, and that's why I show up early. I love it! He smiled gently at me, then continued. Like, we raced outside, we're like, I can't wait to see him, and he's like, I couldn't wait to see you. I know I am not supposed to be here for 2 more hours, but... By the way, I know you're always cute, but you look amazingly beautiful today. Steals my heart with that. I'm glad you wore that. I was worried about the color, but it looks like it suits you very well. Thank you, Nicola. I wore a necklace that Nicola had given me before. Aww. It was just like him to notice little details like that. I was glad that he did. Do you mind if I ask, Space? Are you sure about today? Yes. I nodded with a smile on my face. I just want you to take me to the place you usually go. Won't that be boring for you? Well, you may think it's silly, but... Well, I wanted to walk around town holding hands with my favorite person. You know, a normal date. His expression looked no different from when he invited me out. It was like he was looking at something dear. His eyes were gentle, with a slight heat. It would just be kind of cute. It's a nice breeze day and you're just walking around, just enjoying the scenery, just holding hands and just being together. No purpose, no As he continued to look at me, I began to feel myself blushing. Seeing my embarrassment, he chuckled. Shall we? If I may, Princess? He calmly and ever so naturally extended his hand out to me. I felt happy inside and a bit ticklish. Thank you, Nicola. I nodded and took his hand. We first headed to Creta's shopping district. I come here more often now that I meet with the Visconti. We walked together, chatting along the way. This feels so different from riding in a car. Having a chance to walk and talk together and being able to hold hands felt special. This exactly, I get it. Let me know if you want to stop by any shops. Yes, thank you, Nicola. You seem mighty happy. I came to Creta often to buy ingredients for the sweets I make, but I've never had much of a chance to stroll like this since I had to return right away. I should have brought you here much sooner then. Oh, Nicola. Look, he's so dreamy. Oh. Yeah, he is. I looked in the direction of the voice. There was a girl with blushing cheeks staring at the person next to me. Come to think of it, my mind recalled an earlier memory. Yes, everyone wants a piece of this ass. Look at him! Ah! That was like the first time he showed up and you're like, he's fucking, I love him so much. This is one of the first CGs I ever saw when I was like looking like, oh, let me look up the characters, and I was like, I love him. Like, I love him so much. Anyway, back in Arco, when I saw Nicola, he captured the attention of all the girls. I mean, because he's got dreamy hair, too. It's the hair. It doesn't hurt. It helps. Well, Nicola is handsome. He's gorgeous. He was so attractive that he stood out in a crowd. He had a clean, upright demeanor and grace. He was also blessed with lovely features. It was no wonder all the girls were so transfixed by him, but why am I... Suddenly, he let go of my hand. As I tried to determine what happened, he circled his arms around me and pulled me in. CG, and kissed me. His kiss was deep enough to keep me still. A deep kiss that would be done in private. I could hear girls screaming from afar. He kissed me so long and so hard that he needed to prop me up as my head was spinning. Really? No CG for that? Nicola! He finally let me go so that I could speak. Why did you do that? Because I wanted to. I couldn't complain at his teasing smile. You're unbelievable, Nicola. I was sure he could hear my whisper, and yet he kept that bold smile on his face. Next, we headed to Veleno. You don't come here very often, do you? Yes, I only go through here when we hold the provisioning at Strano. Even then, we try to pass through here as quickly as possible. Well, with the Lao Shu gone, things have gotten better around here. True, the place does feel different now. I always saw this district as a violent place, but it seemed much calmer than before. But there's still a chance that some of the Lao Shu are still in hiding here. So don't come here alone, you hear? Except for the provisioning and... when I'm with you. Can you promise me that? I nodded in reply at his serious tone. I promise. We continued holding hands. I stopped each time we came across a stand selling rare, exotic goods and trinkets. They're so cute. It was the first time I'd seen these Chinese hairpins and lavishly adorned combs. Ah, they'd look great on you. It's okay, I'm fine without them. Come now, don't be shy. Really, I don't need anything today. Going on a date with you is more than enough. You've been giving all this time to me, so I want to give you something in return. I can't buy anything as expensive as what you wear normally, though. I'm just happy that you're here with me. That's not what I was trying to imply. I want to repay you for all the happiness you've given me. I keep thinking about how to make you happy, but I hadn't been able to come up with anything. He stared at me with a surprised look on his face. Nicola? Oh, we should get moving. Nicola pulled on my hand as we began walking again. Where are we going? I wanted to go on a date. We're going back home. Why? Because you can make me happy that way. Oh, we were back in Arca a lot sooner than expected. So, where to next? It's a secret. He smiled teasingly at me, and that look, that fucking sprite, just the adorable face and the wink. God. Yes! Nicola led me to a very elegant bar. Ciao. Ah, your usual seat is waiting for you. It's unusual seeing you here with company. He was staring at me with a surprised expression. Over here, Signorina. Thank you. He led me to the far end of the counter. I sat on the high bar stool and looked around. A lot of liquor on that table. What a nice bar. I'm glad you like it. Nicola? Do you usually come here alone? Yes. You're the first person to come here with me. Oh. I like to have some peace and quiet here, and I don't like sharing my favorite joint with anyone. His words jogged my memory. Come to think of it, Gil said you kept to yourself often. Well, things were different back then. But you still brought me here to your favorite place. I'm really glad. Well, I may keep to myself, but I want to share everything with you. What he said wasn't anything special, but his words made my heart race. By the way, you really are beautiful today. You can't imagine how many times I've held myself back from kissing you. But you did, back in Creta. But that was only once. Didn't you notice? I haven't been able to take my eyes off you this whole time. I've always known this, but you really are a sweet talker, aren't you, Nicola? Oh, you don't believe me yet? CG? He naturally took my hand. Oh! He's kissing her hand, isn't he? Oh god, he is. I'm so crazy about you. I held my breath. I could tell I was blushing right now. I meekly tried to reprimand him. Stop it. Not now. There were other customers in the bar. Nicola wouldn't let go of my hand. Nicola! Ah! I love him so much. Don't worry about those around us. Just keep your eyes on me. But this is all so sudden. Do you want to leave then? Huh? To be honest, I really want to leave as soon as I can now. But we only just sat down. He smiled, looking into my wide-open eyes. You're just too cute. I want to be alone with you. I want to be with you alone. So, you're staying the night with me, right? Well, my voice was shaking. All he was doing was holding my hand. We had held hands all day, but things were different now. I tried to find the right words to say as I did my best to calm myself down. No! My voice was so quiet it could barely be heard. He still had that smile on his face. Well, now, you're gonna have to tell me specifically why you said no. Well, stay with him overnight. That only meant one thing. So, why not Space? Yeah, why not? I'm embarrassed. He kept his eyes on me and whispered, it's not like we haven't done it before. At least once, but probably multiple times if we spend the night several times often at Dante. Dante's like, you stay here sometimes! Space, do you hate me? No fair. Of course not. Do you even have to ask? I want to hear what you have to say. You're such a meanie, Nicola. Kinda is. Of course I am. You've known me for a while now, haven't you? Even so, you do love me, right? You can't guilt me into sleeping with you. Yes, you can. I'll absolutely do it. Tell me, Spacey. This wasn't fair at all. He knew I only had one answer. When he asked like this, I couldn't lie. I love you. His jade eyes sparkled with joy. I love you too, Signorina. Nicola kept playing with me. I'm sure he did. Sometimes he scared me, and other times he embarrassed me, but my love for his teasing smile and his gentle touch was undeniably true. Oh, beautiful! CG time! Hell yeah, extras. We will... Gallery. Wait, what is happening? Oh, I skipped past. I thought we were on the gallery because it was grayed out. We were not. Okay, there's 3. Okay, that's the only thing that I hide text. Like the first time we saw him. And then he's like, oh, hey, you're staring at us. Hey, baby. I can love it. I love Nicola, I really do. He actually did, like, because, you know, he started out, especially, like, you're like, he's just taunting us. He's going to be that teasy little flirt ending. But he actually got a lot softer. You know what I mean? Oh, I love this one so much. I don't know what it is about it, but I just love it. Although it's really funny because his eyes look so blue there when they're supposed to be green. It's him and his goddamn wings. Even this one. I love the music in this game, though. I really do. And it's fun in the gallery. You're like, this should be a little more dramatic. Okay, this one only had one. Oops. I don't know. There's just something about his expressions that are just great. Oh. Oh. That one only had one, I think, too, right? Yeah, damn it. Like, I mean, the steamy CGs are freaking steamy. Dante coming out of the shower, fucking Nicola and us on bed. This one, I mean, good fucking lord. Like, hi. Oh, hello. Oh, I do love that one, too. Her eyes are fucking huge. They fit in her face, though. But, I mean, they're huge. Oh, that one only had one, too. All right. And that one's so sweet. I mean, I love it. It's so, like, it's because it's like all the rest of them always just kind of have a cute, like a sweet kind of face. And this is like, oh god, he's gonna kill, like, I mean, obviously he did kill someone. You're like, oh, you're so angry. Well, so far, 2 for 2 of our steamy scenes and our topless CGs. Oh, hi. You're not wearing a shirt. I mean, come on. Hello. And our lovely... Oh. And that's it, right? Because the other ones we haven't gotten yet. No, because we have to get some from our other bad endings and whatnot like that. Whoopsie. I'm sorry, I absolutely love this one. I really do. There you go. He's winking at you now. I do. I just love it. It's my favorite. Although, actually, to be honest with you, too, this one is one of the best, too. It is the first one we got. You know what? We'll go with that one because you can just see his beautiful eyes. No. I do love it. All right. So we'll start the next part. We'll start doing the normal ending, and then we'll do the... That's going to take us more than a part to do at least. But we'll at least start it, I'm thinking. And it'll probably take us at least 2 parts to start it, finish it. And then when we finish it, we'll also do the other side story because we don't have time to do it in this part because this part's almost an hour and a half. So, and then we'll do the bad ending. So, you know, I will see you guys next time to start the process of getting all of our other endings. But I hope you enjoyed Nicola's route. I did. I love him. I love Dante too. I love this game. I don't know. I have so much fun. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.